Hello everyone, Joanne with StampingInTheValley.com and welcome to my craft room. I had so much fun putting this card together. I really wanted to work with these dies right here. And they are the stitched nest label dies right here. And they nest inside of each other. They're double stitched, so you get a stitch on the inside and the outside, and then it has a little embossing line on it also. But what I wanted to show you with these is when you go, I'm going to put these back in here. When you start to pick out your sizes, because you might not want one as big as I did, you might want one smaller, or you might want one larger. What you need to do is alternate from one side to the other. So I wanted this one as my base, I knew that. The one that fits inside of that is the second one in on the other side. Does that make sense? All right, and then the one that fits inside of that is the third one in on this side. And then if you wanted to even go smaller, you would go over to this side again. Okay, so you alternate back and forth with your dies. Oh, and I wanted to show you something. Let me get that. This little line right here, there's all kinds of little holes in it, which is really fun embellishment. This, I wanted to just see what it did, so I just ran it through a piece of scrap of, I think that's Coastal Cabana. I wanted to see what this did. So that's what I did. I just ran it through a piece of scrap, and it gives you these nice holes, and then there's some embossing with it too. Because remember now, our dies are emboss and cut. Cut and emboss. Okay, and everything is a die. There's no framelits and there's no thinlits. Everything is a die, and they cut and emboss. So I really do like that. But I just wanted to show you how to get things to nest, is just go from one side to the other, alternating. And it should look like this. I'll put in my hand here. So you have your large one. Then you have the one on top, and then the one to nest inside of that. So see how they just graduate on top of themselves? Maybe my hand is not the best thing to do that on. Let's do that on a solid surface here. And they just really graduate right up on top of each other. So that's when you know that you've got your spacing absolutely correct. So just wanted to go over that with you guys. Now, if you are a new customer of mine, let me move some stuff out of the way. I will send you a brand new catalog, just like that, and then you're going to get 6 6x6 sheets of paper. And the paper will be random. I don't know what's going to be in it. I just pick out 6 different ones, and I'll put it in the front cover of the catalog, and you'll get that also, along with the 2 free card kits. These are the ones for the month of June. Of course, they will change for the month of July. If you place an order with me, or are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, or a downline of mine, you get these free card kits every month. So that is awesome. How much fun can we have making cards? All right, so now let's go with what we're doing today. And this just came out so adorably cute. I used the Seaside Spray. I used Pear Pizzazz and So Saffron. Of course, this is Whisper White. My base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. It will open like a book like that. And I've been into combining my stamp sets. I can't help it. I started doing it yesterday, and I was like, oh, let me combine a couple more. So with this, I combined It Starts With Art and Floral Essence, just to have some fun with it. I used the sentiment from here. I used the sentiment from here. I used the buttons from here. And I used my Floral Essence punch to make this vellum flower. So let me show you that punch. Let me get that. I didn't have it over there. Right here it is. And this is a bundle. The Floral Essence bundle comes with the punch. The Starts With Art comes with dies. There is a bundle with that comes with some dies. So with this punch, I punched out 3 from our vellum collection, the pink, the green, and the yellow. And it's very simple. I'm just going to put these together with glue dots. I'm using my green on the bottom, then I'm going with my pink on the top layer of that. So I'm just going to add 1 glue dot. And you want these to space out where your space is. And then another glue dot. So simple to make this absolutely adorable vellum flower. And then I'm going to put my yellow on top of it. And I've learned with this, do you see how I took the pink and I overlapped it on the green just a little bit, not to put it directly in the middle, but I learned with that then it makes the flower look really pretty. So just overlap that just a little bit, and that's perfect. I'm going to use a large rhinestone in the middle to cover up my glue dot. Perfect. Now we're going to put this element aside and we'll use it in just a moment. Let's go ahead and bring everything in. Here's my Whisper White envelope, my card base, and I used my Seaside Spray 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and this is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. I ran it through the buttons embossing folder, and this is what I came up with. But now with this card, guys, you can use any embossing folder you want, or you don't even have to. You know, so this is a type of card that, you know, you can use any sentiments that you want, any embellishments that you want. It's just the style of the card that I'm showing you, and along with how nice these nested dies fit on top of each other and make a very nice element right there. So, so I just chose the buttons, but you can choose any embossing folder. Like the tufted would look great. The swirls and curls I think would look great. Just really even the subtles, it would look great. Because of course that's one of my favorite embossing folders is the subtles. Now I'm using this new ribbon, and this is the scalloped linen ribbon, and this is in Seaside Spray, and it has this little like burlap in it. I just love it. Just reminds me of very beachy scene that, I don't know, sand and sea spray is what that reminds me of. So I'm going to cut a piece right here, and I just eyeball this. I let it come across the paper and just hang it over just a little bit. You don't need all the bulk of the ribbon going all the way around the back of it. Nobody sees it, so why waste that much ribbon? So I'll show you how to attach that. It's very simple. Let me put some things away to get them out of my way. I seem to kind of trip over them up here if I don't get them out of the way after I show you guys. Okay, so now right here, we want it in the middle. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to use my snail, and I'm going to put a little snail right on the side here, right at that edge. And then I'm going to take my ribbon, and I'm just going to hold it, and I'm going to fold it around the back and let it push into that snail on the back side. Like that. And it will hold it until, because this is embossed, we're going to use Tombow. But this will hold it down. Now is the time that if it's crooked, go ahead and reposition. Like if you think that this needs to come up a little bit, just go ahead and reposition it, but you have that little bit of snail in the back just to hold it for you. Just like that. Some people use Scotch tape too, and that's okay also. Now I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue, because this is embossed and you want to use liquid glue. Now, if you're looking for a product list, it's over on my website at stampinginthevalley.com. Please go over there and check it out. It will show you all the pictures of all of the products that I use in my videos, and it will also show you the price of everything. Keep that stuck down. Oh, it wants to pick up, doesn't it? That's okay. We'll fix that. That right in there, like so, and add some snail, and let's get that down on the paper. Well, what is going on over here that you don't want to stick? Okay, there we go. Just had to push it into the paper a little bit more solid. Get a little Tombow on it, and just in through there. All right. Now I'm going to bring my card base in, and like I said, it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, so it opens like a book. And now I'm going to attach my buttons on here, my pretty embossed piece, just like that. and press that down. Especially when things are embossed, I kind of give it a little bit more TLC with my hands so that it will attach to your cardstock a little better. And all of that is going to be nicely held down. I'm going to move this aside. Now we're going to work with our elements here. So I cut these 3 out. So saffron, is this pear pizzazz? Yes, okay, that just looked a little light to me right there. Pear pizzazz and then a little whisper white, and they're all cut out. And as you can see on these stitched, let me get this up to the camera real close now, let it focus. See how it's stitched but then embossed also? Love it. So I want to attach this one to here, and we're going to use, I think we're done with the Tombow now. And we're going to use some snail. So I'll just run that down through here. And I'm going to space it nice and evenly over my So Saffron. And a good way to line this up is to watch your points. I found that was a good way. And now I'm going to do my stamping. I'm going to be on a photopolymer stamp, so I want to use my foam mat. And this is going to say, all days are beautiful that begin with you. And I'm going to put this in my Seaside Spray. Now let's hope that I could get this where I really want it and not crooked. Normally with something like this, I stamp, that came out okay. I stamp first and then I cut. But because we're on camera, I cut the piece out. But we're okay with that. The awl's a little bit high, but I'm okay with that. And then because I'm going to attach my flower anyway. So now I'm going to attach this to my base that I just put together. And this goes on with snail. And again, just right in the middle there. Just like that. And now we're going to bring our flower over that we made a minute ago. And we're going to add a glue dot to the back of it. And this is going to get attached to the bottom of this right here. And I'm putting it over to the left just a little bit, just to give it a little something something. Now this will get attached with dimensionals. One on top and one on bottom. Watch the way I do this because I want to straddle that ribbon. I don't want the dimensional on the ribbon. So I'm going to put a dimensional on here and a dimensional here. It's still going to pick up the sides, but see that ribbon's going to run right in the middle. It's also going to help to hold it down also. So let's take these off. Let me move this aside. And let's move our card base back in. And we're going to work on the inside of it. I'm going to put a stamp pad right there. Now on this side, I'm going to stamp Follow Your Art from the It Starts With Art, and we're going to go into the Seaside Spray again. Right there. And now we're going to have fun with some buttons. This is the larger button and the smaller button from It Starts With Art. So first into the Seaside Spray, right there, and then right up here. Also on my envelope, let me come over and grab that real quick, just to save some time. Right there, and then flip it over, and right there. So we like that. Now we're going to use our little button, and I'm going to go into the Pear Pizzazz. One here, one there. And again, bring the envelope in while we've got our, and it doesn't matter how you do that because I'll show you. While we have our Pear Pizzazz on our stamp, now we're going to go into the So Saffron. I cleaned it on my chamois. I have a fuzz on there. Yes. Okay, now into the So Saffron. And then I don't want it to line up with that. I want it like a little triangle, okay? And that's why this didn't matter if I just flipped it over, because see, I just want my triangle. Like that, and it doesn't have to be even. You don't want it to be even. And in here, the So Saffron, and So Saffron there. Beautiful. that is the inside of our card. Now let's finish the outside. Let me close my ink up. 3 beautiful colors that go together nicely here. These match nicely with the Seaside Spray, the Pear Pizzazz, and the So Saffron. So these are the colors. Okay. And now let's bring this up here, and let's take our element right here. We're almost done with our card. And I'm going to come over to the left a little bit, but not all the way. I want that ribbon to show. And I'm just going to put it there. Now see, my dimensionals are here, and that just secures that ribbon down nicely. Now I'm just going to add some of these sequins, and I always like to work in sets of 3. So just up here, and I chose these are almost, I don't know, these are like a green color. They almost look like an iridescent Pear Pizzazz, and I'm doing them in little triangles. And then down here, and it picks up that green right there in that Pear Pizzazz. And just like that. And we're done with our card for today. Envelope and all, guys. Isn't this fantastic? A quick and easy card with using those nested dies. And again, this right here, you can use any stamp set that you want, any sentiment that you want, any, yeah. You know, it's just that by using these nest dies is where you really got your element. And by using an embossing folder, you know, or you could even use DSP, but by using an embossing folder, you use a solid piece of paper. It's very, very simple. And you just get your cards done. And I smudged my envelope, I see over here just a little bit, but we're going to be okay with that. So, so here's our cards for today. Very, very simple. Please, if you need to order any and all of your Stampin' Up! Products, go to stampinginthevalley.com, click on the big blue button. You can order any and all of your products that way. I'm also going to add a Shop Now button down here in the description, and it will take you right to my online store. Instead of having to go to my website and click on the big blue button, I'm just going to add a Shop Now button down here for you guys. So that's also something new that I'm adding, and I sure do appreciate everyone stopping by today in my happy crafting room here, because it's always happy crafting. It always has to be happy crafting. This is my absolute happy place in the whole world, other than time spent with my grandchildren. So this is my happy place, you guys and this craft room. So I appreciate you coming by and visiting my YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching, and happy crafting.